We have a baby together and sadly it's time to leave, but I can't because there might be hope. My partner, 43M, and I, 26F, have been living together for 2 years. I got pregnant just around the time when pandemic hit with just months into dating. Before that it was wonderful, he was so caring and we just clicked so well. It was amazing in general. We decided to keep the child. That's when things took a turn. First was accusing me of sleeping around and child wasn't his. I was exclusively dating him since we met, then him suddenly turning super cold and not communicating well. He created this reality that I was never pregnant, or when I'd bring it up the child wasn't his, so he never took responsibility. Finally, when I started showing, I had to run to my mum for help and handle the pregnancy mostly on my own while he watched from afar, overworking and doing his own thing. I clearly learnt it this way that he has terrible communication, lack of empathy. He says emotions are dramatic, stupid and unnecessary. I am a crier especially at home, although he says he loves me. He was not like the man I met, in fact the complete opposite. Finally I delivered the child and he was really happy, but I also was diagnosed with PPD, which I had therapy with. It went well in the first couple months until the 3rd month he demanded I get back to work when I was full-time breastfeeding and had no help. That caused me so much stress taking care of my girl. I finally got back to work when she was 8 months, and between those periods, when it's going well, we get along like amazing friends and we have a loving relationship. When we argue, or sad about something, doesn't have to do with him, he invalidates me and ignores stonewalls me. He'd also often complain or finds an excuse to get mad at me. He is very inconsistent. One day or week he's in love, but the next day he could just ignore me for hours, days. Then he'd talk about long-term plans like meeting his family, living somewhere else, getting married, etc. But he doesn't care when I'd cry or want to have deep conversations. At first I made excuses thinking it's his introversion or awkwardness, but now I don't know. Another backstory on him. 15 years ago, he had a child with his ex and she hated him so much she blocked him from seeing his son for the last 13 years. He'd never explain why, he just says she's unstable. But somewhat I'm starting to understand her. Her not letting him see his son is bad and I don't want to do that to him, and he doesn't ever want it to happen again. He loves our baby so much and is fully committed to raising her. I've left him couple times but he wouldn't let me. He'd come asking me, and my daughter, to come back. I've asked him many times to leave but he won't. He believes we must stay together for our daughter because it's better for all of us. He thinks we're having problems because of where we are now, and if we moved somewhere else, it would be better for us as a family. Part of me wants to stay because I feel maybe he's right and should try again in a better environment. Sometimes I feel it's entirely my fault, but deep down I also think I've been emotionally manipulated. I start to think my emotions are a burden, that I can't talk to him or my feelings are invalid. Or I'd be a bad mum if I ever left. Or that I can't live without him. I do understand maybe he wasn't ready after all, and neither was I. We had some of the harshest lockdowns in the world, so it might have impacted us, but all he sees is himself and says that I'm the problem. I want to leave and I also want to do what's best for us, like staying, but at the same time I can't handle the inconsistency anymore. I feel worn out and depressed every day because of it. We still love each other, I might still have hope, I'm pretty positive in general but not sure now.